Namaste and happy winter solstice for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere. My name is Michelle Chua. Today is a special class in which we're going to flow vinyasa style, and then midway through we'll go through yin, restorative, moving into stillness so that we can rest fully in shavasana, go into meditation, which will be a guided about 10 minutes, and then go into journaling. So grab a journal, a pen, maybe light a candle, and let's begin. Oh, and you'll want to have some props for the yin and restorative part, like a blanket, a pillow, 2 blocks and a strap, or anything that you might have around you that can be used. So let's start in a comfortable seat, and you may want to prop your pelvis up on your folded blanket or pillow so that your hips, if your legs are in front of you, your hips are higher than your knees, especially if you're sitting in some sort of cross-legged seat. So make sure that you can root the sitting bones evenly, maybe rock your weight side to side and lift up through the center of your spine, letting the shoulders roll back and down as you lift through the back of the skull. Resting your hands in your lap, or maybe resting the left hand on your heart center at the middle of your chest, and your right hand at your sacral center below your belly button. Now, as you're arriving in the practice, take a moment to visually orient yourself in your space. Look around, take in whatever colors and textures and forms appeal to your eyes. Then begin to bring your attention to your immediate space, feeling what your body is in physical contact with, like the seat beneath you. And maybe closing your eyes as you now begin to scan your physical body from the inside, paying attention to wherever you sense aliveness or more prominent sensations. Bring a carrying curiosity to your observing, letting go of any judgment of good or bad. So you're even taking notice of any areas of tension. And gathering your physical state. Bring your attention to your breath and just let it flow naturally. Noticing whatever qualities you can feel about your breath. Detecting your energy, your energetic state. And so now as we arrive at the shortest day of the year, the longest hours of darkness, the winter solstice, notice if you have any thoughts or feelings about this time of the year. Taking a moment to allow space for whatever feelings, emotions, thoughts need to be acknowledged without having to do anything else about them right now. Feeling into the energy of your mind, your heart. Take note of your mental and emotional state. And so as we enter the winter season, when there's more darkness and generally colder days, Mother Nature invites us to slow down and turn our attention inward. I invite you into a practice of just that. Honoring your body, honoring whatever is present that comes up for you throughout this practice to pay attention to. bringing that same caring curiosity to whatever you notice. And in the end, we really spark our relationship to our own intuition as we move into meditation and the writing process of journaling. So now let in a deeper breath into your nose. Taking your time to arrive at the fullest point before you empty it to your mouth. Really stretching to the very bottom of the exhale when there's no breath left. Maybe linger there when it's emptied before allowing the next breath in. Sensing as that breath moves throughout your physical body, full expansion. And if anything needs to move through sound, feel free as you exhale to your mouth. Allow another deep breath like that. Now bringing our awareness to your heart energy center. Begin to think of something that you can appreciate as you're sitting here now, beginning your practice. You might acknowledge all the different things that had to come together, that had to synchronize in order for you to have space, time, and energy for this practice today. Then start to clarify one thing you'd like to focus on tonight. Though we'll be moving into our intentions for the winter season later, what's one word, phrase, or personal affirmation or mantra that you could say to yourself to guide you through this practice? A larger theme. And remembering that we are part of a greater whole. In taking care of ourselves, we're helping to be of greater presence to those around us too. I invite you to dedicate this practice to someone or something that you care about. It could be an individual, a community. And as we're sharing our practice together, let's join our voices, creating resonance through chanting Om 3 times. So inhale a little bit deeper. Bow in towards your heart center, recognizing your own inner guidance. And let's slow down the breath with the lips closed. If you can, just breathing through the nose. Begin to practice Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing. And that's where you create a very gentle, subtle, and smooth whispering sound to the breath by softly constricting or narrowing the back of your throat. As you listen to your breath, take the time to balance and slow down inhales and exhales. If you notice throughout this physical practice that your breath rhythm changes, becomes choppy or difficult to breathe, then take the liberty to slow your own body down, back off in however intense you've gone into a posture, or sit down, take a moment to rest, maybe in child's pose. So pacing yourself, honoring your body, and listening to your inner guidance. Let's begin in child's pose. So come on down to your hands and knees. Bring the inner edges of your big toes to touch. Separate your knees or bring them together as you rest your forehead all the way down, stretching your arms forward so that we're actively stretching the spine. So listen to the breath here and continue to set that pace. Now, as your arms are reaching forward and your palms are face down, lift the elbows off the floor so you're not resting the arms on the ground, but you're stretching actively straight. Plug your shoulder bones back into their sockets. Spread your shoulder blades wider apart by spinning your triceps, which are your outer upper arms, towards the floor, externally rotating your upper arms. Keeping your hands right where they are, reaching forward, shoulders width apart. Separate your feet hips distance apart and tuck your toes, lift your hips back, entering downward facing dog. Spend the first few breaths moving your body any way it needs to let energy flow more freely. You might pedal your feet in place slowly, stretching into your hamstrings and calves. You might shake and nod your head a few times, helping to relax your neck. Again, listen to the breath. If you're needing another way to practice downward dog where you're not putting so much weight on your hands, bring your knees to the floor so they're directly under your hips. Engage your abdomen, and with a flat back, extend your arms forward so you're bowing. Here's another variation of downward facing dog. Listen to a couple more cycles of breath in Adho Mukha Svanasana. At the end of the second exhale, walk up to the front of your mat, entering a standing forward fold. Separate your feet hips width here and parallel your second toes to each other. Bend your knees as much as you need so that you can relax your neck and drop your head freely. Plant your fingertips either on blocks, your shins or thighs, or the ground. And as you press with your fingertips, inhale, stretch your spine forward, parallel to the floor. Half forward fold. Then exhale, bow towards your legs, forward fold. Again, to the breath. Press with your hands, inhale, stretch your chest through your upper arms in Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold again, Uttanasana. This time, press down through your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms forward. Rise to stand with your arms overhead as you gently coil your chest up in Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale as if you're blessing yourself. Join your hands in prayer from your crown center, third eye center, throat center, to your heart center. Pause a moment to envision your intention for your practice. And let's flow through our first series of sun salutations, warming up the body. Inhale, sweep your arms forward. Again, coil your chest up. Exhale, hinge forward from your hips. Then plant your fingertips on blocks or the floor outside your heels. Inhaling to step the left knee behind you. Kneeling lunge, gaze up. As you hold your breath, step into the top of a push-up, plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, then your chest, then your chin, sticking your tailbone up in Ashtangasana. Inhale, slither your belly to the ground into Cobra, coiling your chest up. Exhale, lift your hips back into your version of downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward beside your left thumb. You can also grab the leg with the left hand and place the foot forward, right knee down. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bow. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, rising into Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, blessing yourself from your crown to your heart center. One more time, side two. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Fingertips on blocks or the floor. Inhale, step the right knee back. Kneeling lunge, gaze up. As you hold your breath, step into plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, chest, then chin. Inhale, slide to the ground and coil your chest up. Exhale, lift your hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, step your right foot forward beside your right thumb. You can catch the leg with the right hand, left knee down. Exhale, step your left foot forward and bow. Inhale, raise your arms overhead and coil your chest up. Exhale from your crown to your heart center. Moving on to our next series of sun salutations. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. This time press into your blocks, your legs or the floor. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back into your plank pose. Firm in the belly and exhale, glide forward. Bend your elbows to hug your side ribs. Lower to cobra or upward facing dog as you breathe in. Exhale to downward facing dog, and let's pause. Let your body be still for 3 deep breaths. Steadying your gaze or drishti to help steady your mental focus. What are you noticing in your body right now? When you hear the end of your 3rd exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat in a forward fold. Once there, press with your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Press with your feet. Inhale, rise up, coiling your chest up. Exhale, hands in prayer down to your heart center. Let's take that same Surya Namaskar one more time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step to plank. Some of you might float into Chaturanga. Exhaling as you lower. And inhaling to Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Cultivating stillness with steady gaze as you rebalance 3 breaths. Now stay here. We're going to add on. Bring your feet together in downward facing dog and spread your fingers flat like you're pushing the mat underground and towards the front of your room. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. As you exhale, hug the knee high outside your right shoulder, coming forward to stack your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, back to a 3-legged downward dog. As you exhale, cross the knee to your left elbow, coming forward to stack the shoulders over the wrists. Inhale, sweep the right leg back again. Stay here. As you exhale, bend the right knee towards the sky, turning the thigh open. Take another breath in and tack your left hip further back. Now rounding into plank, exhale, bend the right knee high towards your nose, contracting your abdomen before stepping the foot right between your hands, spinning the left heel down. Place a block just to the right side of your right shin. Inhale, cartwheel your arms to rise up into Warrior 2. So with your arms wide open and your ankles pretty much right under your wrists, steady your gaze on one spot, just past your right fingertips. Tune into the sound of your breath, slowing it down again. Bending your right knee directly above your right heel. Firm the outer edge of your left foot into the earth. Wrapping your right outer hip underneath your body. Firm the top of your left thigh bone back. As you relax your shoulders, lift up to your heart, lift up to your crown, and let's listen to one more deep breath in Virabhadrasana 2. Keep your feet where they are and straighten your right leg for Trikonasana triangle. Sweep your pelvis sideways towards your back wall, reaching for the horizon way forward with the right hand before placing it on the right side of your right shin on a block of the floor. where your right arm and right outer shin can firm against each other. Raising your left arm towards the sky, stack your shoulders and wrists. Spin your chest slightly to face the sky too, steadying your eyes on one spot. How is your breathing? Feel the strength of your legs as you're pressing the outer edge of your left foot deeply into the earth. Glide your right hip crease back towards your left outer heel as you stretch your crown towards the front of your room. One more deep breath. Exhale, frame your right foot with your two hands down and set your left knee to the ground. Let's come into a kneeling lunge. Step your right foot to the right until your legs are hips width apart. And you're bending your right knee directly above your right heel. Now with your left hand either on a block or the ground directly under your left shoulder, use your right hand to cup the top of your right thigh. Rooting that right hip back and down, stretch your torso forward and breathe in. Keep your pelvis still and exhale, twist to your right, turning your chest, raise your right arm up. And we'll be here for about 5 breaths, continuing to turn the chest, stretching the spine forward. Now, if you want to lift the back knee, make sure your hips stay squared or even in height. Or if you want to go further into the twist, you could hook the left elbow outside your right thigh and join your hands in prayer or open your arms apart. Now feel the qualities of your breath and how you're regulating your breathing to regulate your own energy. Last 2 breaths here in Parita Parsvakonasana, twisting side angle pose. Stay in your twist, gaze down at your right big toe, and lower your hands to frame your right ankle with blocks. Lower the left knee again and lift the ball of your right foot flexed. Begin to plug your right thigh bone back deeper into your hip socket, straightening your right leg as you reach your chest forward, folding forward. Inhale, keep lengthening your spine from your hips. Exhale, firming in the belly. Maybe fold a little more with the shoulders relaxed away from your neck so that your throat is open. Half split or Ardha Hanumanasana. Last 3 breaths here. Rebending your right knee, please step back to downward dog, and if you're itching to flow, take your own vinyasa or a few rounds of cat-cow, the latter in which you inhale, coil your chest up, and exhale, contract your belly to round your back. Let's meet in downward facing. When you arrive in downward, bring your feet together to touch and actively spread your fingers flat. Then inhale, raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, slowly hug your left knee high outside your left shoulder, gliding forward to plank pose. Inhale, raise your left leg back to 3-legged dog. Keep your shoulders balanced and exhale, cross the knee to touch your right elbow in plank pose. Inhale back to 3-legged dog, but stay here longer as you exhale to bend the left knee towards the sky, rotating the thigh open. Inhale, tack your right hip further back. Then contract your belly and exhale, round forward to plank, bending the left knee towards your nose before lightly stepping the foot right between your hands for Warrior 2. Spin your right heel down. Align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot and place a block just to the left side of your left shin. Then cartwheel your arms as you inhale to rise. And with your arms wide open, stack your wrists pretty much right up over your ankles. Steady your gaze just past your left hand. Invite calmness and balance to your breathing. Bend your left knee right above your left heel and firm the outer edge of your right foot into the floor. Rotate your left outer hip underneath you and firm the top of your right thigh bone back. Then invite ease around your heart space, your neck and shoulders lifting to your crown. Last 2 breaths. Straighten your left leg for triangles. Slide your pelvis sideways towards the back of your room. Reach for the horizon as far as you can with the left hand before lowering it onto the left side of your left shin. Firming your left arm and left leg against each other, spin your chest slightly to face the sky, steadying your gaze on one spot. Draw your left hip back towards your right heel. Send the shoulder blades down your back ribs. Let's listen to 3 more slow breaths here in triangle pose. Gaze down at your left foot, sweep the right arm overhead, and lower your 2 hands onto the floor or your blocks, setting your right knee onto the ground. Step your left foot to the left until your legs are hips width apart. In your kneeling lunge, stack your left knee right on top of your left heel and place your right hand on a block of the floor right beneath your right shoulder. Use your left hand to cup the top of your left thigh down and back, keeping your left leg still as you inhale to stretch your spine forward. Exhale, rotate your chest to the left, entering your spinal twist. Raise your left arm up. Now I invite you to cultivate balance by going for the same variation you practiced on your first side. Maybe you lifted the right knee or the back knee. Make sure to square your hips. Maybe you hook the elbow outside your front thigh. Each inhale, lengthen your spine further forward down the midline of your mat. Each exhale, keep your hips still and allow the twist to deepen across your waistline. That spinal twist promote digestive flow and energy flow, especially through your Manipura chakra or solar plexus energy center. Much about willpower and letting go of what is unnecessary. Gaze down at your left foot, lower your hands to frame it on blocks, and set the right knee down again. This time lift the ball of your left foot flexed. Plug the thigh bone back into the hip socket as you straighten the leg and draw your chest forward, cultivating a flat back as you bow from your hips in Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Sense what you're feeling here in your body and energetically. Listening to your body's guidance through whatever sensations it's communicating with. Even tension is helpful information to maybe back off or breathe a little deeper. One more deep breath. This time, drag your left foot behind you and step into your version of plank pose. From plank, give yourself a few breaths to very slowly lower through Chaturanga Dandasana all the way to your stomach, lying face down. We're going to enter our last couple of back bends that are active. So slide your knees close together, Stretch your legs long behind you and spread your toes flat on the ground. Press your pubic bone into the ground. Then bring the arms down by your sides with your palms face down. Keeping your feet pressing the earth, inhale to coil your chest up off the floor, gently lifting your head as you look slightly down and breathe. 5 to 7 breaths before we lower to rest. Now raise your arms and rotate your inner shoulders behind you as you spread your wings. Arms wide apart as the shoulder bones rotate back. Allow your palms to rotate to face forward. Not from the wrists, but from the shoulders. Stay here or raise your arms overhead like you're holding a beach ball, drawing the shoulder blades down your back and lifting your triceps alongside your ears. Are you counting your breaths? When you finish counting 5 to 7 breaths, drop everything, relaxed, and notice your body. 3 breaths. Now our last active back bend, take your choice of the same posture, which is called Shalabhasana or locust pose. Otherwise, you can add a little more fire if you're looking for it, coming into bow pose, which also helps to stimulate digestion. So bow or Dhanurasana, slide your knees close together and bend them. Reach back with your hands and catch your inner or outer feet. Kick your feet away as you pull them towards you to lift your knees. Keep your knees no wider apart than hips width and coil your chest up. You're in it for 5 to 10 breaths. This is our last active back bend. And once again, when you're done, be still. Tune into how you're feeling physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally. Beginning our yin practice, stay where you are, lying face down, and slide your right arm out to the right on the floor so that your right palm is touching the ground. And use your left hand planted on the ground beside your left shoulder to begin pressing the floor away so that you can slowly roll over onto your right hip. Stretching the inner side of your right shoulder, draw the right shoulder away from your neck. Breathing slowly here as you tune into how far back you need to lean. Maybe you step the left foot off behind you on the ground. Maybe you explore wrapping the left arm behind you or not. Allowing full breaths. The very top of your inhalation, feel that. And then take just as long to empty your breath. We're here on this side for about 3 more breaths. Begin to roll onto your belly, taking your time to transition to the second side. Slide your left arm out to the left with the palm face down. And with your right hand on the floor beside your right shoulder, press the ground away and roll gently onto your left side. Take your time to really pay attention to how the sensations in your body are communicating how far back you need to go. Notice if this side is different. Slide the left shoulder away from your neck. And let's listen to about 4 or 5 more deep breaths. When you're ready, take your time rolling onto your stomach. Pause there for 3 breaths, maybe windshield wiping your shins side to side, helping to loosen your lower back. Imagine breathing into your belly, giving it a massage against the ground. If you need to let some heat out, empty the breath through your mouth. Plant your hands on the floor beside your floating ribs and press up into tabletop, hands and knees on the floor. We're going to move into a spinal twist, counterbalancing our back bends. So as you inhale, raise your right arm towards the sky. And as you exhale, thread it underneath your left bent elbow with your right palm face up. Lower the right side of your head all the way down. If the ground feels too far away, take your pillows, your blocks, or your blanket, whatever you can use to support your head comfortably. Now take a moment to feel out your 2 hips. Try to keep them level so you're not turning the pelvis, but rather turning your rib cage. Send the shoulder blades down your back, lengthening your neck. Now imagine breathing across your back ribs. We're here for about 3 to 4 more deep breaths. When you're ready, slowly lift up onto hands and knees. Take your time switching sides, inhaling to raise your left arm towards the sky. Exhaling as you thread it under your right bent elbow, left palm face up. Lower the left side of your head on the ground or prop. Stabilize your lower back. Level out your hips. Then relax the shoulders down your back. Imagine breathing across the backs of your lungs. About 4 more breaths here. When you're ready, slowly lift back onto hands and knees, and make sure you have a pillow or a couple of blocks near the front of your mat that you could easily reach for in a moment. We're going to come into single pigeon pose, and as we're coming into the posture, if you find that your body is opting out, then I'll offer a different version that you could do lying on your back. Thread the needle. And if you prefer that one and know it, go right into it. So for single pigeon, turn out your right thigh at the hip and slide your right shin across your mat in front of your pelvis. Tuck your left toes behind you and then slide the left toes back so that your pelvis can lower to the floor. Walk your hands towards you, lift the pelvis again, and slide the left toes further back, scissoring your right hip back and rotating your left outer hip forward so that your hips can evenly face the front of your mat. If you find there's a gap between your right glute and the ground, Fill that gap with any of your props, like a folded blanket, so that you can support the balance in your hips. Relax your back toes and inhale, lift your heart towards the moon. Take your time, breath by breath, bowing forward. Here's where you might set up an incline with a block underneath the furthest edge of a pillow so that you can bear hug a pillow, or stack a couple of blocks to rest your forehead on. Get creative with your props so that your body can feel relaxed to let go of resistance. Now, if this variation of the posture is not working for you, lying on your back, you could choose to practice thread the needle. So here, turn out your right thigh at the hip, flex your right foot, and cross your right ankle onto your left thigh. Start by pressing your right palm gently against your inner right thigh to help splay it open, and notice how this feels. Maybe you stay here. Otherwise, add on by threading your right hand between your thighs and using both hands to catch hold of your left thigh or shin. As you relax your head and shoulders on the floor, breath by breath, gently bring the left leg closer to you, while splaying your right thigh open. So in whichever hip opening you're practicing for your right hip, let's center in on 5 more deep and balanced breaths. If you're on your back, stay on your back, and before switching sides, circle out your thighs. And if you're in single pigeon, slowly lift your head and come up to hands and knees. Take a moment once you're on your hands and knees to stretch your right leg behind you. You could shake out the leg or circle it at the hip, encouraging blood flow into that region. When you're ready, take the same version of the pose, though the depth may be different, onto your left side. For single pigeon, turn out your left thigh and cross the shin in front of your pelvis. Slide your right toes back and lower the pelvis. Walk the hands towards you, lift the pelvis, slide the right toes back, and scissor your left outer hip back. Rotate your right outer hip forward. And notice if it's helpful to place a prop under your left glute. Relax your right toes and inhale, lift your heart. Take your time bowing forward, maybe bear hugging props on an incline, or stacking blocks under your forehead. And if you're in the supine version, thread the needle. This time, you're crossing your left ankle over your right thigh and flexing your left foot to stabilize your left knee. Starting with pressing your left palm gently against your inner left thigh and noticing how this feels. You could opt to stay here or thread your left hand between your thighs. With 2 hands, catch hold of your right leg. And as you rest your head and shoulders down, slowly bring your right leg closer, breath by breath. Splaying your left thigh open with your left arm. Let's listen in for 5 more deep breaths. And then start to move into that neutralizing position or motion you took after the first side. If you're on your back, you might circle out your legs or take happy baby pose. If you're on hands and knees, you might give your left leg some movements at the hip. Let's meet sitting down. Find a comfortable way to sit, and we'll practice a calming, grounding, breathing technique to connect us deeper inward to your intuition, your inner guidance, and bring us into a more restful state for Shavasana, meditation, and journaling. So again, if your legs are in front of you, make sure that your hips are higher than your knees. You could sit up on any of your props. So the breathing technique is called Nodi Shodhana Pranayama, alternate nostril breathing. It's a rebalancing breath for your nervous system and your brain, the left and right hemispheres of your brain. So as we practice, rest your left hand on your lap, maybe in a mudra. A grounding one is thumb and first fingers touching, palm face down. One that cultivates vital life force energy is Pran Mudra. It looks like a peace sign. The index and middle fingers are stuck together and the palm is face up on your lap. Now the right hand is in Vishnu Mudra, where you stick out your thumb, pinky, and ring. As we continue to breathe just through the nose, long but very gentle breaths, we'll use the right thumb to close the right nostril, and we'll use the right pinky and ring to close the left nostril. Alternate nostril breathing. So as we practice this, you might close your eyes and steady your inner gaze towards your intuitive energy center called Ajna Chakra. It's towards the center of your brain, where your pineal gland sits. We'll practice 3 cycles together, then continue to 2 cycles on your own. Prepare by emptying this breath. Hold it out. Right thumb, close right nostril. Inhale through left. Hold the breath. Close left. Exhale gently through right. Hold the breath. Inhale right. Hold it in. Close right. Exhale left. Hold it out. That's 1 cycle. Cycle 2. Inhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Close left. Exhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale right for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Close right. Exhale left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Third cycle. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Close left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Close right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Continue 2 more cycles. Take your time to finish at your own pace, and when you do, breathing naturally, be still and notice the effect of that breathing technique. Then gently begin to lower your body to the ground, positioning yourself where you can completely be still, relaxed, and rest for Shavasana. You might like a pillow under your head or a pillow under the backs of your knees for lower back support. You might drape your strap over your eyes as you close your eyes to help you tune inward. Maybe a blanket weight over your pelvis and lower belly to help with grounding. Let your shoulders roll back into the floor. Walk your shoulder blades down your back and turn your palms to face up if that's comfortable. This is a gesture of openness and receptivity. And now as you close your eyes, with your body still, allowing your breath to flow naturally. Let each exhalation invite you into a deeper, deeper, deeper state of relaxation. We'll be here for a few minutes in Shavasana.
Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaya Nishprapancha Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaya Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaya Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Sachitananda Murtaya Nishprapancha Shantaya Niranambaya Tejase.
Resting where you are in stillness a little longer. Let your awareness scan different parts of your body here. Noticing your physical state now. Being gentle, loving, and kind to yourself and your body. And start to move subtly, like gently turning your head or rubbing your thumbs across your fingertips, maybe wiggling your toes. Little by little, easing into another stretch. And eventually turning over onto your right side, resting your head. As you're resting on your side, bring a kind, caring curiosity to how your body is naturally breathing. Tuning into your energetic state. Notice if anything has shifted. Take your time to press your hands into the earth and rise into a comfortable seat for our meditation. Be intentional with how you position your body so that it can be relaxed and still. Sitting tall, lifting your heart and crown. Rest your hands in any mudra or gesture that supports the feeling tone you wish to cultivate. One that cultivates inner balance and equanimity is stacking the palms face up and the center of your lap, with your thumb tips touching. One that cultivates connection with your deeper consciousness is bringing the thumb and index fingers to touch, with the palms face up, resting by your knees. Now close your eyes or steady a soft gaze, maybe on your candle, setting it somewhere where you can keep the alignment of your spine upright. And let your body breathe freely, resting your awareness gently wherever in your body you can most easily feel the breath. Let this practice feel good. Let it be as easy as possible to rest your awareness on the breath, which is your bridge. To connecting with your inner being. Let it be simple. Nothing else you need to do. Simply rest your awareness on the breath. If your attention wanders, notice and gently come back to the breath. Sense the peace that is deep within the core of your being. By resting on the breath. Sense the clarity, the strength, the abundance of creative energy that flows within the core of your being. resting here a moment, notice how your mind feels. What feels alive in your heart? Sensing your mental and emotional state. As you move through the rest of the winter season and beyond, remember that you have these tools to reconnect to your inner being just as you did. But now let's use that connection to guide us into some insight writing. I'll call it a stream of consciousness style guided by a prompt. We'll have 3 self-inquiry prompts. And we'll write for just about 1.5 minutes each. Please take out your journal and your pen. And let in a deep breath. You connect to that space you contacted during meditation and exhale through pursed lips. Or you start writing, and when you write, don't worry about grammar, don't worry about complete sentences. Just let the pen flow like a vinyasa flow to the breath. No need to even think about what you're going to write before you write it. Trust your instinct. Let it be intuitively led. So the first question, I invite you to ask your inner being. As we wrap up fall season and transition to winter, are there any habits, patterns, or causes of suffering that you are ready to let go of? Are there any habits, patterns, or causes of suffering that you are ready to let go of? I'm going to watch the clock for 1.5 minutes. Start to wrap it up. Second question, reflecting on 2022 as we're nearing the end of the year, or fall season just passed. What are you most proud of yourself for? And what do you appreciate? What are you most proud of yourself for? And what do you appreciate? Let's take it for another 1.5 minutes. And start to wrap that up. Last question. Looking onward with so many new adventures, new opportunities, new soulful experiences awaiting you this winter season and beyond. What are you most excited to welcome into your life experience? What are you most excited to welcome into your life experience? Okay, start to wrap it up. Rubbing your palms together, building some inner heat, acknowledging the fire within you that burns through all doubts and fears. Place your hands at your brow center, Ajna chakra. Just a moment of gratitude to your inner guidance. Rest your hands at your heart center. And remind yourself of your intention for your practice tonight. Remember whomever or whatever you chose to dedicate this practice to. And let in a deep breath, releasing any last bit of air through the mouth, preparing to chant 3 ohms to close. Inhale again. Bowing in to your heart center. Remember to connect often to that light within you. When you are in that place of inner peace, your true nature, and I'm in my place of inner peace and true nature, we are one. Namaste.